We're speaking about addictions again this week. We spoke about it 2 weeks ago, and we thought we'd have a week on that because it's a very important topic to talk about, isn't it, Carlos?
It is. It's a very complicated and complex type of condition because we all have habits, we all have little obsessions, and we all have things that we like, for example, in a routine, but then there's addiction, and it's because we don't have control over it.
Where it's obsessive, isn't it?
That's it. It can become that way, and it's, more importantly, some addictions are physiological. They're very hard to beat because our body needs them.
Craves it.
That's right, and it's not that hard to form an addiction.
No, I was going to say it can happen really quickly, can't it?
Very quickly to very nice people.
Without people even realising it's starting to happen. It can just happen real quick.
That's right. And I've spoken in my work, of course, I've spoken to a lot of people that are addicted to many types of things.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things people can become addicted to, and some worse than others, of course, but no addiction is good.
No.
It's good to have routine. It's good to have a certain structure in your day and to do certain things that we love. And, of course, great habits like the wonderful Aristotle said, he's the habit man.
Party.
Form good habits. But more importantly, you've got to find that golden mean. And addiction doesn't allow us to find the golden mean. Because you're putting all your eggs in one basket.
That's true.
There's no mean. It's all on the extreme.
That or nothing.
It's the extreme, not the mean.
Yeah.
So, and what happens, a lot of people have that voice in their head going, I'm not addicted, I can stop any time.
Yeah.
But it's just an excuse, really, because
to keep doing it.
You can't, And look, life is about a balance. I love that. Aristotle was right with regards to moderation, and I think in Eastern philosophy they call it balance, and it's correct. If you have that, that's fine. Doesn't mean you can't do anything, have adventures and try things in your life. That's fine as long as you're safe. The problem is when you're doing it every day.
Yeah.
Or when you're not doing it and you're thinking about doing it all the time.
Yeah.
That's when it's an addiction.
And then comes the willpower.
Wow, yeah. Look, I still admire people. Even today, I tell people when they've overcome a heavy addiction how much I admire them. Okay, they may have got themselves into that situation, but they got themselves out of it. That's brilliant.
Oh, that's so good, isn't it?
Because I know how hard it is. I've seen people try and fail. And it reminds me of an old psychology joke where the psychologist says to his patient, you have a problem with cigarettes. And the patient says, I don't have any problem. I can get them anytime, And so it's kind of like there's no problem there. So it's facing the problem, overcoming it is extremely difficult. And wow, I've seen some people overcome something very, very deep and harsh addictions, and they've come out the other side, and even more so, they're now in a position to help someone. I have a very close friend of mine that's in that position, and what a wonderful feeling to be able to help someone.
Beautiful.
Because you've been there.
You know what it feels like. You've been there.
Amazing.
Yeah. How rewarding for you to know you've helped these people or been in the process with them about overcoming their addictions. That must be very rewarding.
It is rewarding. We all have to work. We have to pay bills, but I love getting results.
Yeah.
It just keeps you going, like when you open the door of your office again, get the key out and that question might be, here we go again, it's no, wow, that last person that overcame that problem they may have, or it could be an addiction or anything else, feeds us and it's like fuel to say, okay, yeah, sure, I'm making a decent living, but also people are getting something out of it. And I've had some wonderful messages throughout. Every now and then you get a nice message, and it's really rewarding. Yeah,
it would be. And when people notice the signs there, because it's very insidious at times, isn't it, falling into an addiction? And what do people do once they recognise that they have an addiction to something? What's the steps they should take?
Think the first step is the phone call. You have to make a call. And there are a lot of great places out there that can help. But just a phone call to a friend, a phone call to a family member, someone that you can trust.
Confide in, trust.
Yes, and allow that person, your partner, for example, anyone really, someone that you know that will help you, that will be there supporting you.
And not judge you badly.
That's right.
That's important, isn't it?
Yep, and they're going to say, come on, let's do this. Let's make this phone call. And these days there's a lot out there, easy to find through the internet and so forth. And once you make that phone call, it's almost like standing on the edge. Remember when we used to jump off rocks into ponds and when you're a kid? That seems like a good idea. And then you're standing there for half an hour and then you take the step.
Yeah.
And that's it. You brace yourself. By the time your head comes back out of the water, you want to do it again.
You want to do it again.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It's not the actual doing the hard part. It's just the decision of making that call to the person that can help you.
Yeah, very true. And then after that, maybe a psychologist, something like
Yes.
Yeah.
I would definitely, once you talk to that person, together, find the right people for you. And definitely a psychologist needs to be involved, your GP, maybe even a psychiatrist. I'm doing some work with Get Help Global now, and we have a whole team of people doing yoga for the spouse and couples counselling, because there's a lot of things that happen in addiction, in relationships.
Affects both people,
even a fitness instructor and hypnosis. And look, it's not one person takes the credit for this. Obviously, the person with the addiction takes the most credit because it's very, very hard to do.
How strong are they?
Once you're in the journey, you wonder why you haven't started beforehand.
Yeah, very good, Carlos. And just one last question. Are introverted personality types more prone to addictions? Like, I remember back in the old days going out, dancing and all that. Some people couldn't dance without a drink.
Yeah.
So, because maybe they're introverted, and then they can actually then tend to form addictions, thinking they have to do that to drink or to dance or to talk to people.
That's right. It's a complex issue. It starts with culture. I mean, Australia already, we're a big drinking culture, so and kids see that from their parents from very young and so forth. And so we've learned a lot now with that type of stuff. So before, your face said, get me a beer from the fridge. We don't do that anymore, with our kids. We try not to expose them too much. You find with introverted men, gain the courage. That's
Dutch
right.
Courage.
Have a drink and go and approach and so forth. But also, it's about a behaviour, having something in your hand. We find that with smoking and adolescents. Especially with young girls, rather than just stand there, they've got a cigarette in the hand these days, vapes and so forth, and it form an addiction just by feeling uncomfortable doing nothing. So they have something in their hand and suddenly they need it all the time because it becomes physiological, of course, because of the nicotine and so forth. So addiction is very complex, but it's important to break it down individually and to see what is that person's story, how they got there, and it's almost like working backwards. Now, let's get back to where you were. And it's an individual thing, but definitely, look, the literature doesn't show any direct connection between introversion and addiction, but definitely people have a disposition towards addiction.
Yes.
They may be extroverted or introverted, and both have different reasons why.
Okay. And people shouldn't feel shame because it can happen to anyone or most people, couldn't it?
Yeah, look, it can, and especially in the modern world.
No shame. Just be proud of yourself to actually get the help.
Oh, that's it, because see, we're all grasping at straws in existence. We all want things in our lives to be better. And you just don't know. You turn the corner and suddenly you're confronted with something. You go on board. It's not the right thing for you. You become addicted to it. And now you've got to turn the other corner. And so it's fine. That's what life is. It's a big journey. And maybe through our journeys, our adventures, we come across things that aren't good for us, whether they're relationships, whether they're illegal drugs, whether it's alcohol, sometimes even a job. Could be many things, but we have to have the insight and hopefully the support to
very important.
Understand that, look, this is just a part of my life.
Yeah.
It doesn't define me.
Doesn't define you. I was going to say that.
And I'm going to get out of it.
Yeah. Good on you, Carlos. Thanks for coming back next week.
I'm back next week, Thursday again.
Back. Good on you, Carlos. Thursdays with Carlos. Great song here. I love this one.
Well, you know, Deb, this is one of my favourite songs of all time.
It's even in your book, wasn't it?
It's in my autobiography.
Yeah.
I love this song, and the lyricist who wrote the song, he said it was about addiction. So I thought, anyway, it's really, I'm honoured to put this song on today.
Good on you, Carlos. See you next week.
For sure.
Bye. It's the Stranglers and Golden Brown.